All right, our About page looks great, so let's move now to the Resume page. So let's go into our dashboard and click on All Pages and click hover over Resume and then click Edit. And here we're going to do some interesting, I'm going to switch back to visual. We're going to do some interesting things here. This theme that you have downloaded or uploaded, Simplicity, comes with what's called Shortcodes. See this button here called Shortcodes? Your theme put this button here. Now you can get this pretty much anywhere. You don't need this particular theme to get shortcodes, but I do want to talk about shortcodes and I want you to learn about them by using them in the resume. So if I click on shortcodes, I'll get a drop down with all these cool things that I can make on my page to make them look more interesting. So we're going to click info box and it's going to ask us some questions. What do we want in our info box? Well, let's make a title called, what I want you to do here is to think about this like your LinkedIn profile. Don't make this a goal statement like, oh, my goal is to get a job. I mean, for a portfolio, no one does those anymore. We kind of know you want a job because you're applying for one. So you want to think about this as your sort of LinkedIn summary. So maybe summary. And then I'm going to try to press enter, but you'll see it doesn't work. I can't make an enter. And the instructions underneath, they tell us what to do. Use a BR to start a new line. So if I want to press enter, instead of pressing enter, I have to type this little thing that they made underneath to start a new line. I am a public relations professional, etc., etc. Now, here under type, we can add little icons. So I'll show you what the info icon does. You can use it too. Size, how big do we want this box to be? Style, do we want the edges to be rounded or not? Border, do we want it to have a border on the top and bottom or all the way around? I'm just going to leave all of this to the preset. I'm not going to mess with any of that. If I click insert, you'll see there's that text that I wrote and it has these what's called shortcodes around it. So shortcodes are these pieces of language that seemingly make no sense, like /box, inside these brackets. This is a way for editing in WordPress. We don't have to be able to write these because we just click this button if we want them. So we have an info box. And let's see what we want under the info box. Under the info box, we want a title that says education and then bachelor's degree public relations. So we're going to write education and then we're going to write bachelor's degree in education. Oh, not in education, public relations. And let's make education a heading 1 and bachelor's degree a heading 2. What else do we need? Then we need some information about ourselves. So let's talk about our education. Ball State University. Let's see. Began 2012. Expected graduation 2015. Muncie, Indiana. Sure. So I'm going to go ahead and update this so that you can see what it looks like. So let's update it and then click on our resume page and you'll see there's our little info box. Here we have education, bachelor's degree, public relations. We have our information here and that's all we've got so far. Now here's where things are kind of weird. In this example, the text is all together and it looks really nice. Here, it's all kind of screwed up. So how do we fix that? Well, let's go in to our editor and I'll explain. Pressing enter in this WYSIWYG editor sometimes is a little problematic. Pressing enter can cause problems like your lines to not be next to each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to put all of these things on the same line, and then if we want to create return, we're going to have returns, we're going to have to do what's called a soft return. So we're going to put our cursor before where the second line should begin. I'm going to hold shift with my left hand and then press enter. And you'll see now that line goes right underneath. So I'm going to do that again for Muncie, Indiana. I put my cursor before Muncie, I hold shift, I press enter, and then I let go of both of those buttons, and now it's all together. So that's gonna fix that and make it look a lot nicer. So now we have this relevant coursework area, and it's a little drop down. So I'm gonna show you how to create a drop down. So we're gonna do that with Shortcodes. And this is called a content toggle. So we're gonna click content toggle, and what we want this to say when it's open and closed is relevant coursework. And then we can put the content in here. And I'm just going to leave everything else the same. I'll click insert and update it. And then let's go look at it. And you'll see I've got the relevant coursework, and there's my relevant coursework. Okay, looks good, so let's keep going. Underneath this, we need to put a line. So I'm going to put my cursor underneath it, and you'll see right here, there's a horizontal line button, so I'll just press it. And then I'm going to start the next section, which is experience. So let's do experience, account manager, and again, I'll just highlight experience, make that heading 1. Account manager, we're going to make heading 2. And then I can explain my experience here. So cardinal communications. And then again, soft return, so shift return, 2011 to present. And then let's put a toggle. So toggle, and then this is going to be accomplishments. I've actually been meaning to change the tutorial. It used to say duties, so I'm changing that to accomplishments right now. And so we're going to put accomplishments under default open and close, and under accomplishments, we're just going to talk about some of our accomplishments. Now, if you want a bullet point, you can press option 8 and you'll get a bullet point. And then always put a space after a bullet point. In these sections, you should talk about what you actually did. It's really falling out of style to talk about your duties. Everyone has job duties, not everyone does them. So instead of saying that you were an account manager and you managed accounts, I mean, duh, we know that. You were an account manager, you were supposed to do that. You're going to talk about some things you accomplished, such as retained 100% of clients over 3 years. That's a pretty big accomplishment. What other things did you accomplish? Planned and held charity event, raising more than $3,400 for Riley Hospital. You know, explain things that you actually accomplished. I'm going to click insert, and that'll be there. So you're just going to do this over and over again for the different sections of your resume. So by the end, your resume should look like this, except where it says duties, it'll say accomplishments. So you're just going to sort of go through and do all of these. The only other thing I need to show you that's not on here is links and bullet points. So let's do skills real quick. I'll put a line, and then we'll do skills, and then we're going to do a list. So up here in our editor, we have a bulleted list section. So I can just press that, and I can put my skills. And when I'm done, if I just press enter a couple times, it'll stop making a bullet point list. So I need to give this heading, actually this should be heading 1. And then I want to show you how to make a link. So if there's anything here that you want to be a link, you just highlight those words and you click insert or edit link, and you can paste a link in. So if you want this to go to Google, we just type in Google, add link, and now that's Google. Now if you want to send this to an email, we highlight it, and instead of URL, we write mail to, and then you put your email address. Okay, we're going to add link. So let's update this. And then let's go take a look at our cool resume that's really shaping up, and you'll see there's my drop downs. Those look great. There's my list. If I click skill 4, it takes me to Google. If I click skill 3, it's going to start opening my mail software so that I can send an email. There it is. So it's going to open my mailbox, which I don't have set up, and I could send an email to megan.mcnames@gmail.com. So you're just going to go through this for all of your experience points, all the jobs that you've had. Put your own education here, put your own skills, put your own section for references with a link to your email. That's how you're going to do the resume page, and it should look pretty good by the time you're done with it.